We don't sleep people here at Variety Sports Network. We just give you previews for the wild card game. I'm joined with Tyler McGurk again here. I'm Darren Breyer, Fat Boy Fadeaway Sports. Tyler, we're here to do the preview here for Rams at Lions. Just a matchup it's like one of those weird matchups you don't think about very often in your life. You're like, you don't think about these teams ever having any big games or something like that. You're kind of right away when you think about this, like what storyline has you the most excited about this wild card matchup?
I think it's Stafford coming home to Detroit, and then I think it's just they're like mirror images of each other, and just to see how they're going to play off each other. We got a Super Bowl championship coach in McVay going up against a coach who sometimes leaves a lot to be desired on that field, and Dan Campbell, but Dan Campbell is a great motivator. We'll see how the Lions come out, their first home game in the playoffs, and I don't even know how many years. So I think that's the number one storyline has to be Stafford coming back to Detroit. See how he responds.
And the Goff part is interesting from the standpoint of, so I guess let's go right there with it. My next question, does this win mean more personally to Stafford or Goff, you feel like? I'm talking there's no team. We're all here. We all want to win, right? We're all but come on, there's got to be a little, I'm guessing Goff, but what do you think? He's the one that got traded?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think I think Goff has to take it a little more personal. Detroit didn't really want to get rid of Stafford other than they kind of had to because they didn't have anything. The Rams were a Super Bowl contending team and said, we can't win with you. We're going to move you. And so you got to take that personally more than just being traded for when you're in a rebuilding phase.
All right, so let's get to it. Keys to the Rams' victory here. And as the 6th seed, right, and they came on late, right? They came on late. You're as a Niners fan that you're watching in the division. You're starting to tell me, all right, well, I'm worried about the rookie receiver. I'm worried about Williams, the running back. You got Kupp that's still always going to be dangerous, and then you have Stafford, who late in ball games has a reputation to be in there and can win it. But to our point, we got our guy C. Henry too in his line. It's an interesting battle between these kind of. They're not all veterans, but you feel like a little bit more on that Ram side compared to the Lions. What do you think of that, Josh? What's up? Good morning.
How you doing, Josh? Good to have you on the
show.
Good
to see your face yesterday for all
that. I think the key is how big of an impact is Aaron Donald going to make against the best offensive line in the NFL? Because if he's disruptive, Jared Goff's going to get happy feet. We've seen it before. We've seen it many a times. And we've seen Aaron Donald just take over games. And the Rams defense isn't very good outside of Aaron Donald. So I think he needs to be the disruptive force that he can be. Will he be? He seemed to not be the dominant player he's been the last 3, 4, 5, 6 years. So I don't know what's going to happen, but that's who I think will decide the game for the Rams.
It'll be my thing is
Jared Goff.
And we talked about it a few weeks ago when on Talking the Gridiron, and everybody there brought up the physicality of the Lions more so than the Rams. And I don't know I don't know where I stand on that with it. I know the Rams are younger and they're still kind of trying to build to that, but we'll see if the Lions, who they play this very gambling style of football, and in the playoffs, we'll see if they are willing to do that. Give Kareem the ball, don't take sacks, split passes between Kip and Nakua. Yeah, I mean, Kupp, I know what you mean there. I think that's the thing. And will Detroit, you don't want to let Stafford just dink and dunk you for a little bit. Like, that's going to be a part of it too. You can't let him get, you know what I mean? You can't, if you're the Lions from that standpoint, you can't let him just dink and dunk you. So the Rams are scary there. What do you think about
the Lions?
And I
think Josh brings up a good point in the Kyren Williams thing. He was a dominant back this year when he missed those 6 weeks and the Rams struggled mightily. When he played, that offense ran unbelievably. They should have beat the Ravens. They lost 34-31, I believe, in a great game. They beat the Niners and 2 benches playing each other. They've played good the last 8 weeks, and if Stafford's healthy, Stafford is just a more dynamic player than Goff, in my opinion. So, I think on offense, it's Kyren Williams and Nakua and Stafford. And then on defense, it's got to be Aaron Donald, the keys for the Rams.
Lions. Keys to their win. I mean, they're at home. The 5 o'clock tonight, right? A little prime time action. Detroit should be fired up out there. Michigan just won the championship, college football, right? There should be a lot of energy coming that way. I don't know. What do you think the keys there with it?
For the Lions, I think it's just protecting Goff. You have the best offensive line, so you do have that advantage, but you got to keep Goff upright and not people by his feet because he just struggled mightily when he gets pressure on him. That's the thing about Goff is you can't really trust him to make plays outside of the 3-step drop, 5-step drop, getting it out on time. So I think the offensive line, and then is Jahmyr Gibbs going to be a premier playmaker? He's been in the second half of the year with Montgomery, I think, banged up or even out. He's going to have to carry the load, and he's a dynamic player, so he's going to have to make some dynamic plays.
We'll see how the Rams sustain that first quarter. I would think that the Lions would have a lot of momentum on their side, right? The crowd's
going to be rocking.
So we'll see where we stand after that first quarter. Josh, this should be a bumper sticker, that first part. He's St. Louis born, Notre Dame bred, and made in red. We should put that on. Put that on.
That's a motivating little thing for Kyron.
St. Louis born. Hey, he's Notre Dame bred. That's Notre Dame right there for you. All right, Lions don't choke under the big lights. Golf, stay calm. Yeah, that's part of it as well. So the Lions, we talked about the defense being a key to get to Stafford, right, Hutchinson? Does he have a big game? I feel like those are always the obvious marks. Don't give up the big plays like Cleveland did yesterday against Texans. I mean, those are the things you don't want to do at home, and where you're going to have this momentum on your side. So we'll kind of see if they can avoid that. And the big thing for me, and I think we kind of already pretty much have kind of made it, I think everybody knows this about the man, is Goff, can you avoid the turnovers? We'll see if he can do that. Was it like on what was it, Thanksgiving Day? Did he have 3 fumbles? What was that or something like that? And it was a crazy first quarter where they had a lot of momentum. Everybody was excited about Thanksgiving Day, and then it's like, Goff fumble, Goff fumble, Goff fumble. It's like, all right, well, this sucked. All right, so
playing with Vaseline on his hand.
He was playing with something there. What's your prediction for the game?
I got the Rams winning 28-17. I think that Kyron Williams handles the rock. I think he keeps the ball out of Goff's hands, and I don't think the Lions have great playmakers. The Rams have great playmakers. It comes down to me. I trust Stafford and McVay more than Goff and Campbell.
So
in a big time,
but I think that'll win by over 10 too. That means pretty convincingly, and you're really feeling like there's a chance that's where it goes.
I think it's about 21-17. Stafford goes down, scores a touchdown to put it out of reach with 4 minutes left, and then
I have theories with certain franchises and teams, and the Lions kind of fit one of those theories for me where. Yeah. We'll see, kind of like why I didn't pick the Browns yesterday. Whatever. It's 30. Wow, that'd be an exciting game. Thank you.
Well, that'd be awesome. After yesterday, that's what we need there. The 37th is awesome. I hope it comes to fruition.
I like that. Can we get that? I don't know. We'll just see where it'll just be interesting what this matchup goes and where we. My prediction for it is I think the Lions. My theory I was going to say with the Lions is. If they're going to win this game, I feel like it is going to be in dramatic fashion. I don't see them blowing out the team. I feel like they're still learning how to get to the process of winning, and their team and their fans are even probably nervous about it. And you get there's a lot of we should win, but it's this kind of part where we're down 14-10, not again. So it's we'll see if they can kind of overcome some of those franchise demons today and get a win. I mean, I can't think of the last time they won a wild card game. I feel like they've won one in the last 30 years, at least once, but we'll see.
Barry Sanders.
What was the guy with Barry that was the coach out there? Wade Fonz. Was it Fonzie? It was Wade Fonz or something. Fonz. It was something Fonz.
Yeah, something Fonz.
It wasn't Fonz, but it was Fonz. All right, so
you bring up the fans being nervous. There's a video of Eminem, a Detroit native, begging Matthew Stafford to let the Lions win. I was like, this is embarrassing, Eminem. What are you doing? Begging. He's talking about how he rapped for him and did a concert for him. Yeah.
So your prediction, you got Rams. I have Lions.
28-17.
I have Lions winning. It will be close.
Score?
I'm going to give the score. I'm going to say they end up winning 31-28. That's what I would say they end up winning. 31.
Another exciting game.
So I think they end up winning a close game. They hang on for it. All right. Those are our predictions. Hey, real quick here. So I did it yesterday with Brandon. Here's our little thing before we get out of here. People, name your first players that come to your mind when I say Lions and Rams.
Rams, probably Eric Dickerson. Lions, Barry Sanders, obviously. And Herman Moores as the underdog choice for the Lions. And Scott Mitchell. Just that 90s Like
I like the Herman
Detroit
Moore.
Lions. Yeah, Herman Moore, Scott Mitchell, and of course Barry Sanders.
Damn you, Herman. I was new to fantasy football, 14. I knew your name, and you're terrible for me in fantasy football. Herman. What was the other receiver? Johnny Morton?
Johnny Morton. Kind of
Johnny
looked like
Morton.
Hines Ward.
Johnny Morton was on the list there. I don't know why I think of this guy randomly with it. It is the same one you had, Marshall Faulk. Yep, he's on there. Not an LA Ram, but we'll get that one. Oh, we're messing with Josh. St. Louis, born to Brett. We got that. I think for me, if I think Rams right away, I go with him. I do think Faulk. That's the first team
That's a good call.
that goes to my mind too. Is him. And then for the Lions, it is Herman Moore. I don't know what it is. Like there's something about Herman Moore that I go to for some reason. That maybe it was his appearance in Jerry Maguire. I don't know what it was, but there's something.
Jerry Maguire?
Well, I don't think he said it live, but he was in there in the studio. He was in there somewhere in the background. So I remember being on there. So those are just kind of a little fun thing when these teams match up, right? We got to look kind of at some of the history of these guys and what we're kind of getting into. Maybe this is a new rivalry. I don't know. We'll see what happens. It's definitely what we say, Tyler, was the sexiest matchup of the week, right? It was in terms of storylines and all that. And it's kind of funny. Yesterday we had the 2 AFC games. Today we get the 2 NFC games because of the cancellation of the Snow Bowl out there in Buffalo. I guess they can't play a 10-inch snow out there. So probably 10 feet snow, probably not 10 feet out there. So that's kind of there any last thoughts on this matchup here, what you're looking forward to?
Yeah, the one thing I failed to mention, the Laporta injury is going to be huge. Like, if he's healthy, that gives him another guy against a weak linebacking core where he could take advantage of. But with him out, to me, it looks like a McVay and Stafford get their right the ship, get into the divisional round, and see where they're going to go after that.
If that happens, there's a very good chance, sir, your Niners will be facing the Rams on that one weekend. And then we'll get into that preview on TMB another week there.
Absolutely.
So for another preview here, wild card matchup tonight, 5:00 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll be joining you talking the gridiron about halftime of that show. We're going to have a lot of people on that show. Hopefully we'll get Rev on there too. We get Jordan, Jimmy on that show. Tyler, obviously, you're always welcome. I think there's talk, there's a rumor. Might not happen this week, but maybe John and Mike as well. If that doesn't happen, we'll get them on another week here. So it should be a good show here as we'll join you live from that game, give you updates. Tyler, we're previewing it here. Josh, feel free to comment in on that one as well or join us on that show. Tyler, should be a good game.
Absolutely. Can't wait.
Man. I'll see you at Fat Boy Fadeaway. Peace.
Absolutely. Peace.